Can you remember what were you doing in the summer of 2002?
I don't remember. I don't remember what he wanted to tell you.
But like roughly.
Summer 2002.
I just want to imagine.
First of all, 2002, I was 11 years old. 2002? No, I was 10.
God, I'm so old.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Thanalysis podcast on the road. As you can see here, we have instead of the Cream City brick, we have I don't know what this is called, but it's black. Brick. And today with me, I have a special guest, and we only have special guests here in the Thanalysis podcast. But you know, I got to give him our basketball intro. So wearing number 13 from Brooklyn, New York,
Where the lights?
Alexis Ohanian.
Wow. I didn't know. I've been waiting my entire life for that intro. That is phenomenal. Wow. Thank you.
And by the way, we're in Greece right now. So
Yes. Athens edition.
Athens edition
This is great.
And but before, I'll give you guys a heads up as well. This is gonna be the last podcast for now, and then I'll start after like 2 to 3 months. I gotta take a break. You guys got me working overtime. Gotta take a break.
You gotta give the people what they want,
Yeah,
though.
man. I can't. I got and a way to kind of going through free agency and everything like smoothly. So I gotta take care of business.
All right.
But again, it's all about our guest. Please. I want my audience. I want our fans. I want people to get to know you for you and the way I know you. You know, I know Alexis Ohanian for a person who has fights to make the world better, a better place. So that's what I know you for. And then obviously, entrepreneur, investor, the next generation mogul, every other thing that comes with it. But this is why I know you. Why I know you for. So,
right on, man.
Please.
Well, I'm proud to call you a friend, and it's awesome. The fact that the internet brought us together all those years ago is it's still one of my favorite stories.
Oh my
and
God.
it was 2020 in the middle of COVID when I resigned in protest from Reddit, a company I'd created in a dorm room 15, 16 years earlier. And, the way I left, I told the board I'm out. It's
crazy. And I know we've never talked about this before, but when that happened and then you came out and the way you handled certain situations, I was like, oh my God, this guy is really he's really fighting for people, for minorities. He's really fighting for what's right. And I was like, man, not a lot of people could do this.
Thank you, man.
Okay, and then I found out, I was like, oh, okay. He happens to be, married to Serena. He happens I didn't know because I followed you because of your talent, first of all, investing wise. So I was like, this guy's amazing. And then I found out that
it's a nice surprise, to say the least. And look, I'd be lying if I said that being married to Serena and obviously being a father to Olympia, a little black girl who was 3 at the time, those experiences shaped a lot of how I started to think about my legacy, my role. And it was in the wake of George Floyd back in the United States when companies started, talking about things they were doing to support Black lives. And I felt this hole in my stomach because I didn't believe that we could be doing that genuinely, honestly, and still having, hate communities on the platform like we did at Reddit back then. And I reached the point where I said, look, I'm out. Replace me with a black director, ban these hate communities, and closed a chapter on a part of my life that was my identity. For 15, 16 years, I was the Reddit guy. And then you're doing it in COVID, and you're not seeing, I'm seeing my wife, I'm seeing my daughter, I'm talking to my childhood friends on, Discord and on the phone, but I'm not seeing many people, right? And so months went by where frankly, I wasn't even sure if it had mattered, if it had made an impact. It was great. They honored my request. They banned thousands of hate communities after I left. They put in the first policy against hate, and they replaced me with a black director. And so they did the things I asked for, but I still didn't know if I made the right choice. Because if you read the comments on the internet, there were plenty of people who really, really did not think much of what I did, including on Reddit, unfortunately. And so seeing your message was eye-opening for me, man. It really meant the world to me because I felt it pierced through this little bubble of COVID. And I was like, yo, there's another human out here who I respect. And obviously the Bucks took some really important stands during this period as well. And to see that and to feel seen in that little moment meant the world to me. And so I was like, this is great. And then, we start texting, talking about business, tech, different things like that. And it's just been awesome getting to know you and the rest of the family. We have these responsibilities that we try to balance when we want to be the best in our career, as well as the best for our kids. And it's not easy, but
not easy at all.
It's so, I think what y'all's family represents with the CAF Foundation and everything else, it's so aligned with my mindset, my worldview. And it's about excellence that's aligned with values. And it's not to say no one is perfect. I know I'm trying every day to be a bit better. But I want people to be able to see, certainly in tech, in my industry, I want people to be able to see that you can really strive for excellence in the work that you do and still do it in a way that you feel proud of and in a way that, you feel is actually helping make things a little bit better for, in my case, my kid, and hopefully y'all's kids too.
Yes, yes. Man, thank you so much. You can't imagine. Like I saw it and I was like, man, this guy is really trying to make a difference. He could be doing anything right now. I mean, we're talking about somebody who, you sold it, you did all this, you made so much money. No, seriously, you made so much money and you could be doing anything, and you have such a beautiful family, which is, you don't need to get in the line of fire, and people who are outside of it don't realize that, even when with the Bucks, even when in the bubble, even anything. And I'm not saying, you always have to go out your way, but at the same time, like, at least respect those, and at least like give the respect to those who do, and not everybody do the same. Everybody has their own feel and their own way they see it. But okay, so how? Okay, now let me go back to Reddit.
Yeah.
How did you feel like when you left? Right? Like, did you?
How did I feel? It was a lot of emotions, man. It was so much of my identity for so long. I really spent a month just doing the work on myself to think through what I wanted to do. To your point, I mean, my childhood friends, I didn't grow up with any brothers, but I have brothers, guys I've known since kindergarten. Yes. That's my group chat, right? And there's 6 of us. And these guys often ask me, they're like, why do you work, dude? Like, what's wrong with you? and it's because I feel very, very fortunate. From the moment I left college, I've gotten to build, right? I was a first-time CEO right out of school. I've gotten to build companies. I've gotten to do genuinely work that I love with people almost always that I loved and do things that were pretty impactful. And so I thought, God, I can't give this up. I can't squander this. I know the jobs my parents worked to put me in the position to be able to do this. So I'm going to do this all day, forever, as much as I can. But for that first month, there was this void because I was like, well, who am I? What do I want to be doing? Where do I want to spend my time? And I don't know. I'd been investing. I'd started a venture fund, been pretty successful with it. But I even looked at that and I said, this is not me doing it at my best the way that I want to do it. So I split that firm and I started 776 and I said, I'm going to start a new type of venture firm. I'm going to be a product builder. I'm going to build software, but I'm also going to do this job of investing. And everything we're going to do different. We're going to ask ourselves why when it comes to the way things are normally done to make sure we're getting to the right answer, to the smart answer. When it's the way that we hire, the way that we run our process, all the little things. And I mean, I don't want to get into the minutia of investing, but the exciting.
We are going to.
Are we? No, get there.
No. And for me, obviously, I need to. First of all, apart from that, I'm nosy and I want to know.
Good,
but like, you don't understand how. Like, think about this. Like, your parents came to the U.S. Like it's like the same thing. Like, everybody's trying for a better life, and then you're one of those people who quietly, nobody knows, but you're living the dream. You're doing this, and you're doing it in such a high aspect of life.
Yeah.
So we want to know. Of course, I want to know. I mean, dude, obviously not to go overboard, but of course I want to know.
Well, I'll tell you. And one of the interesting things has been y'all represent. I mean, I'm wearing your family brand right now, right? So y'all represent I think, a really new wave of athlete. And I it's funny. Serena represents something obviously very, very special, but from an era pre-social media. Y'all, the Antetokounmpo brothers, y'all are right on the cusp of social media, where you're not like digital native in the sense of like a 21-year-old is today,
Yeah.
right? But y'all lean in so well to telling your own stories. Obviously, everyone loves the random, the random 5 a.m. Giannis videos. You're
Oh, yeah.
running a pod.
Yeah, the 5 a.m. I don't think people realize it, but it's just time difference. It's not really 5 a.m. It's actually Greek time. That's
Okay.
why.
But it just feels very organic. It feels authentic. It feels real. And what the shift that is happening now is more and more athletes are realizing, like y'all realize, like you have distribution. You can create high quality content. You can go directly to your fans. And the value that you carry, I mean, you saw it. Messi is the best example of it. The Messi effect, right? He moved from PSG, one of the biggest clubs in the world, to one of the worst teams in the MLS in Miami. And you watch the follower counts, like literally millions of fans unfollowed PSG and followed this no-name club. Millions of fans bought jerseys for that new club. Like that's the power of the individual. Whether we're talking about Mr. Beast, who's one of the biggest YouTubers in the Western world, or we're talking about individual athletes as sort of creators, the momentum has now really shifted. And I think about this too in my practice as a professional sports team owner. The most important story a team can tell is actually now about their players, because the players, let's be honest, y'all are the reason people get in the seats. Y'all are the reason people, scream and cry and feel so emotional. It's not the logo, right? It's the players. And finally now in this new era, we're going to see a generation of athletes who they think this way because they know their job is bigger than just the sport and they know how much power they have. And so they're not just thinking about working their asses off to become pros and become the best. They're also thinking about building the media empire. They're thinking about doing the brand deals in much smarter ways. They're thinking about doing investing while they're still playing, while they're still active, because they're building something much bigger. And it's been wild to see this shift happen. And then especially to have a front row seat as, Serena has leaned into a ton of that as well. And to the extent that I can be helpful, I probably give more unsolicited advice than I should. But as a husband, I like saying things without maybe her asking me to say them. But it's been wild to see, and I think y'all are such a great example of that. And that shift is never going back. It's in this era, everyone needs to realize. And then you start laying in things like fantasy sports, sports betting, free agency, all these things, and social media mean fans are just going to care so much more about the individuals than the overall teams. And that dynamic is very, very good for the athletes, which is good. It's what it should be.
Yeah, thank you. I think you have a way of simplifying stuff, which is great. Like people, like a lot of people, the best trades makes things sound simple and just.
Dude, one of my favorite things to call founders out on when they pitch is if they're using a ton of jargon and if they're trying to use words that I don't understand. I'll be the first one to say, I don't know what that word means. Yeah. And 90% of the time, if someone is giving you a pitch or some information and it's full of jargon, it's probably because it's bullshit. Like one of the or at least maybe not necessarily bullshit, but they're probably not going to be, effective as founders, because the best founders I know, the best CEOs I know, can explain things in simple enough terms that anyone can understand. And chances are, the more you start muddying things up, the more you start using the jargon, all this other stuff, you're probably into the more bullshit territory. And so it's something I look for. It's something I look for in great founders. And unfortunately, plenty of entrepreneurs, when they start out, they think they need to talk this way. But the reality is, some of the best thinkers I know in business use the plainest language to talk about stuff. And it's something I strive for, because that's, at the end of the day, if you're trying to build something that's going to be so universal, it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar business one day, you got to explain it in a way that anyone can understand, whether it's a customer or a potential employee or an investor.
So okay. So
also, wait, am I getting a candy box?
Yes, you are.
Am I? Okay, because I'm getting really jealous of these taste testing videos. And I'm sitting here like, so we have candy Saturday. Serena and I are very strict on the sweets. But when the weekend shows up, then we get to go ham, and Olympia knows like, okay, it's candy day.
No,
and so we have a
it's-
special drawer just for it.
Yeah, no, trust me, you're getting a candy bag.
Okay.
Everybody's getting which is insane because like,
You get a box. You get a box. You get a box. No, you don't get one. Sorry. You get a box. Yeah.
But you're getting one for sure.
All right, good.
I gotta
I'm signing up. Let's go.
hold on, let me put this on my notes. Too. Put this on my notes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your next Reddit?
I really believe I'm building it. I think so.
Is it Reddit? Is it something else? Like, talk to me about it. What is it?
So, I get to do this great job now where I've made some money. I get to invest that money along with institutional money in what I think can be the next, multi-billion-dollar business. And I've been doing this for a little while. But starting 776, which, fun fact, 776 BCE, the name of it is because that was the year of the first ancient Olympic Games. And my daughter's named Olympia. I'm not Greek, but I feel like I'm honorary Greek.
Whoa, my God. And by the way, you're in Greece, so it's...
Yeah.
Did you go take a picture?
It feels right.
Carbliss?
Yeah. Dude, I've been, this is like my 8th or 9th. If you count last weekend, if you count your birthday party last weekend, this is my 9th trip to Athens. I've spent a lot of time in Greece. First, actually, actually, can we go here? Hold on. So my first trip, I'll explain the 776 thing. So, that was the year of the first ancient Olympic Games. The reason I wanted to name the firm 776 was one, because I have a daughter named Olympia and I wanted to name the company after Olympia. And my wife said, if we have another kid, very smart, the kid is going to be jealous. So don't name it after Olympia. And I was like, okay, let me think of other things related to it. I was like, that's smart. But then 776 was great because there's this story. I don't know if you know this story. This is a true story. First ancient Olympics, there is a guy who's like a cook who hears about the Olympics happening. This is 776 BCE. Mm. And he's just down the road in another village close to Olympia. And he hears about it and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go. Shows up and he actually lines up for the very first event, which was a foot race. And he lines up and he wins. And it's this amazing story, right? The first ever ancient Olympic Games, this random cook like gets off his shift, lines up and wins. And it's this amazing, the reason we love sport, the reason we love the Olympics, right? It's humans being their very best on like a level playing field, and you get to see real greatness, right? That's why we love sport. The reason I love this story, though, is because that cook was not the best athlete that day. The reason is the ancient Greeks only invited people from the known world. So there were millions of people outside of Greece that they didn't even know existed, that they never invited to those Olympics. And so there's a great lesson there, right? As much as we celebrate that story, the ancient Greeks were still missing out on greatness. And in fact, I'll go a step further. Women were not even allowed to watch the Olympics back then, let alone participate. So there were great women that weren't even invited because they weren't even thinking of them as athletes. So I wanted to create a venture firm. If I looked back at my career and I said, wow, like the companies I've built, the companies I've invested in from the very start, it feels like I'm celebrating that cook because I'm proud. But I know there was more greatness that I didn't know about, that I wasn't plugged into, that I could have invested in or I could have started. So let's keep that top of mind. Let's build a venture firm with this idea of seeking greatness everywhere as broadly as possible in order to find it and celebrate it and support it. And I plugged into this so early on, and it's been this amazing momentum. And now 3 years into building this firm, I actually brought the whole team here. So there's only a dozen of us, but we're here we're all remote first. We came here to Athens, came here to Greece. And it's motivating as hell for me, man. It makes me feel like this is going to be my life's work. I definitely feel at home, man. I do. I love coming here. I do. And I just feel, I feel the universe pushing me in this direction now. And the software that I'm building to support 776, which is our whole operating system, all this stuff, this is going to be my magnum opus. This is going to be my life's work. This is the best thing. And it's all about simply providing dollars and then support to the best entrepreneurs that I can. And it's as simple as that, man. I want to push it so much further forward. Yes.
So okay, now that you say about this, there's a lot of things going out right now about like AI, right?
Oh yes.
And again, no, it's true. Like I've listened to a lot of things, and just everybody has their own opinion. I've seen like people starting stuff quick. It's moving really fast.
Yeah.
But people haven't noticed this, because everybody lives in their own bubble. It's like the I don't know, like the phones, like the internet before. Like now it's moving like rapidly
Yes.
right now. What's your opinion? What's your take on this? Where do you see this going, or not going? I don't know.
It's big. It is very, very big.
Okay.
We're using it. I mean, we started messing around with it probably a year ago, and it was DALL-E, which was the art. It was a project of OpenAI where you could, with some text, generate an image. Now Midjourney is actually much better. This is where in the group chat I was dropping in those random AI generated pictures.
Midjourney?
That was Midjourney.
I was like,
Who? That was Midjourney. That was just, and I did a whole series with Serena, imagining her playing different
doing so
sports.
fast.
Yes, I mean it's literally a text prompt, and you learn. It's kind of like programming, except you're using English instead of code.
Okay.
And you learn how to do these prompts, and so the visual stuff is fun because you can see very quickly, like, oh, that's dope. Like, how did you? It feels like magic. But even the text-based stuff is getting much better to the point where, for summarizing documents, I have analysts who I tell them, I'm like, instead of reading a 100-page PDF report from Goldman, have ChatGPT summarize it, get good at figuring out those prompts at that summarizing it so that you don't have to spend 20 minutes reading the report. You spend 2 minutes reading the summary. And it's these little things right now that are working today to make our lives more efficient. But over time, those tools are going to get better and better. And actually, I don't think will take that long. And for 10 years, I've been investing in what we call narrow AI. So like self-driving cars, there's a company called Cruise, which I had seeded, a decade ago. In their first round of investment.
But now with 776 though, you said with 776?
We're doing AI investments. We actually have, there's a company called DeepTune, which does AI generated dubbing. So right now, a YouTuber, some content creator.
You're joking.
I'm not. I never joke. I joke a lot.
Okay.
But these are near real time dubs of our voices speaking other languages with near perfect intonation and sound. And so, the problem with dubbing historically is if you wanted it to sound great, you needed humans, and that takes time and money, and it's a lot of effort. If you wanted to sound average, you could have robots doing it, but the voices sounded robotic, and no one wanted to hear that, right? I do voices too. You don't even know. You don't even know how far the rabbit hole goes. But you could actually now very cost effectively have me saying this in Greek using my intonation. Like it would actually sound, and if I sounded really sad, it would sound sad. And the cost of this is also rapidly falling. And so things like this exist. We can actually do, if you want, we'll do a little fun demo so that I can have the guys just do it for free.
I'll tell you after this what I'm looking for. Okay.
And so now it gets exciting because actually this is a perfect example. So English is obviously the lingua franca of the internet, but as an American, I also still realize that is not the center of the universe. There are so many people speaking these other languages that today can't participate in the internet with content because, there aren't that many Greek speakers in the world. And so it's not as valuable for a YouTuber to say, okay, we need to translate this to Greek. Now the cost of that as an Armenian, the cost of translating everything to say Armenian, which is even smaller language, is now going to be so affordable that you can imagine so much more content now being so much more accessible to so many more people in so many different languages.
Yes.
This is a very real, valuable, and I think good for the world example of how AI is changing things. There's another side of it, which is the scarier part.
Okay, hold up.
It's not Terminator, but it's a little scary.
Yeah, I want to sit down and listen to this carefully.
I mean, okay, so here's the worst part, Thanasis. It's that none of us actually know how bad it could be. And that's the unfortunate part is with other technologies, we sort of understand the capability of the technology. We know how bad it can get, so to speak. With AI, we don't. And there's actually a big debate right now with the experts of just how bad it could be. And it's actually kind of a coin toss. It's about 50%, 50, who think it could be really, really bad for humanity or not, which is, pretty high stakes, which is why we've been calling upon.
By the way, knock on wood. If I told you today that you got 50%, I don't know, get in a plane or go somewhere. You travel. You got 50% chance to get there.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't go on the plane. Yeah, I know. Here's the problem, though. The march of technology is going to keep pushing onward.
It is. I don't doubt this, but not to every, like, we can cut the branch. We
I
don't have to,
Dude.
of the tree. I mean, we don't have to.
We can. Okay, so we can, right? We could say, all right, Europe, actually, to Europe's credit, I think Europe is going to be they're the most privacy centered, which I actually think, speaking as an American, I actually think is a good thing that Europe's more privacy centered. I think that's a good anchor for the free world.
Yes.
A country like China, less privacy centered. America, way more, let's just see what happens with the free market. All these different regions are going to take different approaches to AI. But I don't think anyone will stop completely. And so now globally, it's
not to stop. I mean, only the good stuff.
It's going to be. I know. It's going to be wild to see. And I think what's good now is I think elected officials in almost every country are now talking about it. They're now talking to the experts of it. They're aware, which normally it takes way long. Like normally, folks are so far behind technology. It's almost pointless for them to try to intervene because governments are so slow. This is one area where I hope we take the right course because, again, I gave you the dubbing example, which is it's a solved technology. It's already working. It's going to be very good for humanity. There's very little downside to it. There are other things that are probably only a few years away that are also really, really potentially good for us. We have a company we funded called Nucleus. They're built on this idea. Did you ever take like an ancestry test or 23andMe or any of these genetic testing where you can see your heritage? But you're familiar with these.
Yeah.
Okay. So those were popular 10 or 15 years ago. Everyone, or a lot of people did it. I did it. And I was like, oh, that was kind of pointless. You get your results and it's like useless because the cost of sequencing the entire human genome was very expensive, very hard. So they only did a little bit of it, which is why they told you like, oh, your family's half from Armenia, half from your blah. Not that interesting. Now, the cost of sequencing the entire human genome for any one of us is like a few $100s. And because that cost is now nearly nothing, that's essentially now code, that we have a ton of code now. And it's very hard for humans to figure out where the patterns are alone. Now that we have this new emerging technology with AI, we have a much smarter interface to be able to look at this code and tell us patterns. So the hope is in the next decade, because the cost of producing the code of our DNA has gotten much cheaper, and then the ability to, find patterns and read it has gotten way easier because of AI. We could start learning so much more about, genetic disorders. Right now we know a couple of genes that are connected to breast cancer. In the next decade, we could actually really, really clearly know, no, these are the things that are going to predict not just breast cancer, but so many other cancers, so many other diseases, and then potentially create therapies for them much sooner. Like this could save a lot of lives, dramatically improve quality of life for so many people. Like there's tremendous good that can come from it. And, there's a responsibility for us as technologists to keep pushing the things that are going to be good for humanity and then try to, curb the things that could be bad. But I'm an optimist. And I can give you one reason to be extra excited as obviously a fan of sports and an athlete. There's like a kind of dystopian view of this where we imagine right now our feeds are so addictive, right? I get caught up in this stuff, right? I'm just swiping. I'm just like, oh, this is great content. This is great. Okay. Part of that is because of very basic AI. The ability to get us exactly the content we want anytime we want it is going to get so much better. It's going to know, at this time of day, you want to have a laugh, or at this time of day, you want to be reminded of your wife, or this time of day, like the personalization of even just social media of content is going to get really, really good. You'll be able to watch, Iron Man and see yourself as Iron Man, right? Or have a different ending. I mean, some of these are kind of dumb ideas, but like
it's not. It's for a fan as a
right. So imagine content. The bottom line is content will be so personalized to you, and so the good news is you're always going to get what you want when you want it. You're going to get Thanalysis exactly at midnight when you love watching it while you're up in bed and you're like, I can't wait to see the new Thanalysis. It's going to be so personalized. The downside of that is we are going as humans to always get sort of exactly what we want. Imagine if you had your favorite meal every day, all the time. Eventually, it's not your favorite.
So it's not going to be my favorite anymore.
So, but my hunch is it'll be smarter than that because it's going to know, well, okay, if you don't want that, it'll give you something else. But we will be bored. You're right. There is one form of entertainment where AI will not have control, and that is sports. AI only enhances, I think the pendulum swings over here where everything exactly the way we want it. And it's going to actually make us want sport even more because we can't control it. Because it's human. Yes, it's the most human. Again, we're going to be sitting here with our feed, seeing everything exactly the way we want to. Everyone's going to have a filter. Everything's going to be so artificial that we're going to actually look to sport as therapy it's going to give us a sense of feeling alive. Yes. And I actually think in the next 10 years, sports becomes even more valuable because it's going to give us that feeling of like, I'm alive. This makes me feel good and real or bad. And it's okay that it makes me feel bad because then I'm going to feel better when I feel good again. So I'm incredibly bullish on the future of sport because I think AI is going to have such a dramatic impact on every other form of like content that we consume. And there's good sides to it and there's bad, like everything. But I do think the future is bright in sports.
Okay, so let me ask you. Now that you said sports, and obviously I know you are invest like as well as us. You invested in sports ownership.
Yes.
Look at this.
Look at that good looking merch there. Nice polo you got there. LA Golf Club.
LA Golf Club.
Wait a minute. Do you have some news to announce?
No. First of all, I want to congratulate you.
Oh, thank you.
It's amazing, man. First of all, I don't know how to play golf. You know this.
I don't either. Olympia, my daughter, my 6-year-old's better at golf than me.
I can look like it, but I don't know how to play. Yeah. How come just golf? You just like, you know what? I like golf. Like, let's do this. Or
I'll tell you. So, I've had some success with this women's football club in LA, Angel City FC. Mm-hmm. And that was 4 years ago where I was like, I think women's soccer is going to pop off. Funded this team, yada, yada, yada. Now with golf, I never played it. I never thought golf was for me growing up. And when I got the call, it was actually Tiger who said, "Hey, we're building this league. It's called TGL. It's team golf. The players are mic'd up. It's really built for prime time. And it's not
mic'd up. I like that.
It's this team element where they never get to play on a team. They actually love this feeling because they never get to feel like they're either going to let someone down or really pump up a teammate. And now that and when they get to feel it, it's like a drug, right? These solo athletes, they're not used to being team players.
Yes.
And then you have this element where it's like the average sports fan, let's say, doesn't have 6 hours to watch golf on Saturday and a Sunday and Friday. So they said, look, 2-hour format. Best golfers in the world, 3-on-3, going at it, prime time, and this format, mic'd up, talking it felt very rebellious, right? And so I'm just like, Tiger, tell me where to sign up. I'm excited, right? This starts now gaining more and more momentum. You got Full Swing popping off, that reality show or docuseries on Netflix starts getting more and more popular. And I realized, and of course, and I mentioned it to Serena, and Serena's like, I played golf for a little bit when I was younger. I was like, seriously? Y'all just did everything, huh? And she was like, yeah, we're doing a little golf too. It helped. And Olympia was getting into it because we spent a lot of our time in Florida and there's a ton of golf courses. So Olympia's getting into it. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna start really leaning in and learning. And then when it came time, when they opened up the franchises, we put a pitch together and said, I want the LA franchise. And, thankfully, I don't even knock on wood. We won it, but grateful. And so we have this LA Golf Club, which is the LA franchise as part of Tiger's Team Golf League. And we're starting in, February, we're going to start playing. And it's going to be a format that my hope is, and here's the big reason why it appealed to me. So I feel very strongly I've never, don't get me wrong, one day it'd be nice to buy into an existing sports franchise, but to start one, the thing that I look for is this energy where you think it is one thing, but it's actually something else. And so with women's soccer or women's football, I knew the average American sports fan had no concept of American football or soccer greatness that was a man, because we've never been great at soccer. But the average American sports fan knew the American women were really, really great. And I could work with that because maybe they didn't hear of them. Maybe they didn't follow them, but they just knew American women are way better than the American men. Great. I can take that energy of you don't realize just how big of a deal this is and pull into that. And with golf, I thought, okay, so here's a sport. The average fan is in their 60s. They're pretty old.
Not necessarily, because think about this. You might have you said like about full swing, you might have the Formula One effect as well.
Dude,
Because you saw what happened with the Netflix when Netflix
Yes.
came out with the Formula series, everything went
everybody
away.
got into it.
My friends who they don't even like cars were like, "Did you watch it?"
Dude.
And then I'm watching in Formula One now. I was like, okay.
That is a huge part of it. There's this resurgent trend, and you saw it during COVID because golf was a good sport to play during COVID. Where my Instagram, my TikTok had a lot of videos of folks just hanging out, like hitting balls at driving ranges, having some drinks, hitting some balls. Like it felt like there was some energy from youth coming up.
Yes.
But I just thought, you know what? If as much as Tiger did to open the door in that sport to show that actually, golf is for everybody, it still has a pretty old school fan base, pretty old school format, and all of the energy that makes someone think golf isn't for me. It's probably the number one sport where someone might think, no, this isn't for me. We can use that, not against it, but like judo, we can use that same energy to say, no, we're going to build a franchise. We're going to build a team that actually says, no, golf is for everyone. Like we actually want to go into neighborhoods in LA that would never think that golf is for them and actually bring Sims in there so they can we can get golf clubs in the hands of people young and old, hitting balls at block parties, like experiencing the sport. And then what was wild, once I started talking to people, the folks who do like it, especially from our generation, love it. And they're looking for something that feels different. Yeah. And then what's fun is, once you actually get out there, you start hitting some balls, it's such a humbling sport.
Yeah, because you're bad at it. You're not good at it.
And even the best, I wish my wife had been worse at it the first time.
Like Giannis is good at it. I'm bad at it.
Is he good at it though? Let's roll the tape. I've seen some tape.
Can we
that would contradict that?
Yeah. No, he's the better one, let's say.
Wow. Okay.
But there's a feeling to it, to golf. It's an addicting feeling. Once you hit the first one, you just try to replicate that feeling again and again. And then you hit it a little bit slower, a little bit higher, more far. Like I remember I went to, like I told you, I don't play golf. I never play golf. And I went to, I think it was playing the Spurs, and we had like 2 days off there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm in the room. I don't want to stay all day in the room. And I worked out everything, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to Top Golf. And I went to Top Golf, and I sat there for like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Just me.
Balls. I love it.
Just me. I had my headphones on. I would listen to, and like they have this thingy that you put you put your golf club
to
it, and you get the ball. So I was just literally doing this.
Dude, it's a vibe.
Yeah. So it was great. I had like food
How'd you do?
And everything. Yeah. In the beginning, it was kind of weird because you kind of have to. So I was trying to do what they teach me, what they taught me. But then I was like, you know what? It's not for me. So I got a little bit lower. Yeah. And then I started using my whole body, and then it was easier.
Gotta get those hips into it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then if you're stiff here, it's
no bad news. Dude, I started taking lessons with Serena because I was like, hey, this is a fun date thing we'll do. I was like, babe, we're gonna do lessons and we'll take them together. Because Olympia was already doing lessons in the morning. I would take her to that, and that was fun. But I was like, you know what? Let's go. All right. We're gonna learn together. And then I'll take you out to dinner after. Be a whole thing. Be fun. First damn time with this instructor, I go out first because I'm like, all right, let's go. And I take a couple swings, and he's like, all right. He's like, I can work with this. He's like, good job. He's like, of course. He's like, you never golfed before? And I'm like, no, I haven't. But thanks. And then wifey gets up there. Whap, first one, sends it. And I'm just like, God damn it. You're supposed to not be good at this. And apparently it's like a stick sport thing where I guess it's similar to a backhand or some nonsense. So it was very humbling. And now I'm going to start taking lessons like on the slide. Like I don't want her to know about it. I'm going to take lessons during the week. And then on Sunday, show up for the date and just start wailing them. Yeah.
You should do this in tennis, bro. You should like.
Okay, no joke. So shout out to Jameer. I've told him this. This was my wife's hitting partner. He also went to UVA, Wahoo Wah. And I was gonna rope him into this. I've never played tennis in my life. I played American football was the one sport. I had to play football, soccer, because my parents wouldn't let me play football, American football until high school. Played a little basketball. Actually, we have that tape of that free throw, right? We got to run that too.
I'll post that.
Thank you. And but I was very, very narrow in my focus. And but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking like, okay, there is something that happens here once you get that one swing that feels so good, and then you chase it. And what's wild is I talk to so many high performers, athletes, business people, actors, entertainment, doesn't matter. If you are wired, if you're kind of broken in the same way, once you get a taste for it, there's literally nothing else like it. It's not like there's no other physical activity, no other sport mechanic that feels the same way as hitting that great swing and that sound and that feeling, that addiction. And then you see people spend the rest of their lives doing it, decades doing it.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. Thanasis Antetokounmpo here, and you can stay up to date with all your Antetokounmpo shop needs by following us at Antetokounmpo. See all our products, lines, drops, and limited time gear coming your way at Antetokounmpo.shop. We're all bros. Thank you. Back to Thanalysis. Talk golf, sports investing, and what's the future? What's the future of sports for you? Where do you see? Are you gonna? You see yourself being in ownership in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, look, I would love, the entry price. It requires at least an IPO from Reddit. So maybe if that happens, we could think about it. But
no, but not necessarily, not on your own. I'm saying in general partnership. Or are you like? Do you
come on, man? I can't. Big dog's gotta. I mean, I can't just be a small little, piece of it.
So you want to? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But here's the thing. I'm very, very bullish on the NBA. It'd be fun to do something.
You see what's going on now? Like everybody's.
Yeah, I know. We have to talk about that.
Okay, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Off camera, I got you. Off camera.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. The league is very, very bullish on the NBA. Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I say all of this stuff that we talk about the Top Golf and everything.
Yeah.
I want to say there's a reason I'm wearing this shirt, by the way, because we're involved as well.
Yes.
And first of all, I can't wait to go on and hit a club and hit like.
Dude, it's just be ready because we got a competitive family, and I was leading this investment, but I also obviously had to make it a family thing. So brought my wife Serena in, brought my sister Venus.
Yes.
Olympia, it's a whole family affair. And so when we started talking and having the whole Antetokounmpo family in here, it just got exciting.
You know, exciting. Have you seen me? You've seen me play. Like I get
yes.
hyped. Like
yeah, no, believe me, I need you in that owner's box.
I got you.
Talking trash to Tiger and whoever else.
I am because this is the way I'm wired.
Yes, dude. Look, that was the hardest part for me being on those, I guess it's sidelines in the owner's box during those tennis matches. Is because tennis is the one sport where it was really like rude, I guess, to talk when everyone's supposed to be quiet. Growing up, I played only sports where you're allowed to cheer whenever the hell you want.
Yes.
It's very uncomfortable to not be able to get in there. So I'll be right there, John with Tiger, right with you.
So wait,
yes.
So is everything set up? Is how do I invite my fans? How do I tell people like, hey guys, come watch?
Yes.
Where do we go?
So okay,
what's our arena?
So we have the first arena is being built literally right now in Palm Beach, Florida. It is state of the art and designed for, great content, and it's going to be on prime time. We haven't announced exactly who the media partners are yet, but it's going to be very easy to find.
You can tell me.
I can tell you. We had some front runners, but it's not finalized. And then our team right now is just LAGC.com, Los Angeles Golf Club, LAGC.com. You can do all the things, follow us on social, etc. But over the next few months, we're going to start announcing who our players are. We're going to start doing bigger reveals, some other big partnerships we have on deck, and we're going to keep building momentum. Season starts in February of 2024.
Excited.
And,
excited.
It's going to be a lot of fun. One of the things I'm most excited about too is really showing that this is something for everyone. And it was something I touched on earlier. And obviously, what Serena and Venus represent means so much, coming out of Compton, changing the whole sport of tennis. And I realize y'all are not from LA, but what your family represents is so in line with the values of what we're building with this team. And obviously, golf is such a global international sport. Like there's just so much alignment. And I just want to see y'all showing up in, we'll have our golf threads. We'll show up for a friendly little competition, maybe bring the kids too, hitting some balls and really show like it's crazy to me that this sport feels as, what's the word? Like insular as it does to so many people, because I see firsthand just how different it can be, just how inclusive it can be. And the more we can tell those stories, the better, because it means someone else is going to be like, maybe I'll play.
So What is our initials? What is our initials? So LG, no, LA,
LAGC right now. We
LAGC.
might end up going. People really like the branding. That was like our placeholder branding. We
LAGC.
might, but LAGC for now.
Okay, so
We'll see.
LAGC. Thank you so much, and thank you and Alex
Of course.
for letting us join the family.
Excited.
I'm excited. I really am. And plus, you guys are gonna laugh so much with us swinging. You'll see.
It's gonna be good.
You guys are gonna enjoy it.
We'll have literally the best golfers in the world though on our team,
and the worst at the same time.
The goodness is we don't actually have to show up on Monday and hit the ball in. So we'll let the pros That's some good. We're gonna have some good free lessons.
No, that's good because
from the squad.
No, that would be probably for me. I'd probably want to watch do a story now.
Yeah.
I have a section. I'll do this always in my podcast, and now
which
is called it's called this one today. It's called Amazing Facts. I want to see if you know this. You're an amazing person. You know like a lot of stuff. So I want to see kind of what you know. Okay.
All right.
I have like this right now. So okay.
All right, I'm ready. I'm competitive. I want to get them all.
Okay. Did you know in like 1936, like that the Russians created like a computer that run on water?
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that. 1936. Wow. Runs on water?
Yes.
Like straight up water. Like you plug it into a river? Like what? How? I need more answers.
This is what I was going to ask you. How would that work?
That I have no idea. That is above my pay grade. I am not that good of an engineer. Runs on water? I mean, maybe if the water provides the power. I mean, but that's like, hydroelectricity. It must have been, okay, but hold on. Computers back then were ginormous. So I could imagine maybe this is just like it runs on water because there's a ton of water flowing through it that's moving a thing, which is generating the energy, which then like powers it. But don't get it twisted. I don't think it's like there's water. I don't think they were like pushing a keyboard that was just a bunch of running water and
Please, guys,
I don't know. I want to see the pictures.
On the internet, please let us know in the comments. So everybody who knows, please.
You know what I'll do? I will ask Midjourney to illustrate what Midjourney thinks the computer looks like, and I'll send that to you. Yeah. No problem.
We'll add it to the pod. Okay. So go to the next one.
Okay.
You play chess?
I'm the worst Armenian. Like I barely know how to play chess.
But you know the word checkmate, right?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know where it comes from?
Shachmat.
Yes.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Damn. I'm really gonna lose all my Armenian cred now for not knowing this. Hold on. Fuck. I know this one. Checkmate. Shachmat. Something about. Does it have anything to do with the king?
Yes.
Or
you're close.
I killed your king.
No, the king is dead.
The king's dead?
Yeah, the king's dead. That's what it means.
Okay, we got there. We got there.
So, okay, it's 1-1 then.
Wait, what is it in Greek?
Checkmate. The same.
Oh, it's just checkmate.
Yeah, but it comes from the words.
Yeah, shachmat. Okay.
Okay, we'll talk about social media and news and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know the broadcast channel, right? BBC.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you know, like on Good Friday, this whole talk about like 1930, like BBC announced that day there was no new news.
What?
Yeah.
No.
This came out and said there was no new news today.
They're just like, we're not going to talk. Like,
and they just played piano music the whole day.
Wow. I mean, it was Good Friday, so maybe it was like, okay. There's an infamous, was it Swan Lake was running on Russian state TV when they toppled? Yes, there's some nodding. There's been some, it always seems like if the state media has nothing to talk about, there's probably something up. But maybe that day they just all wanted an early day off and they
there was no
called
news.
it. Wow. Okay.
So
wait, what year was it?
1930.
1930 is before World War II. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Wow. Today I learned.
So,
damn. I did not know that one. I should just be saying, yes, I know all these things.
No. It's just some stuff that I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to just want to know.
That's good, man.
Just have in my back pocket.
Yeah.
This is a great combo. Started
I'm taking this back to my team to see how this water computer works.
Okay, I'll give you one true or false.
Okay.
Let's see if you know this true or false. Okay.
All right.
In 2008, right, a businessman from Abu Dhabi spent like 15 million, 14.5, something like that, to buy a license plate on like an auction. To buy like a license plate.
In London?
No, in
in the UAE probably.
yeah, Abu Dhabi.
All right, in Abu Dhabi. Okay.
To buy a license plate that had the number 1.
One, true.
Is it true? Huh?
I think it's true.
You're right.
It's weird. I didn't even know that market existed. I'm into the collectibles. We talk a lot about trading cards, all this stuff.
That's why I had the fact. I wanted to see if you knew it.
Because I didn't know the exact auction, but I knew how valuable like bespoke license plates were in a couple of places. I think Hong Kong is one of them. I guess the UAE. I know England. And if you have really low numbers,
supposedly, quote unquote, it's like
it's like the ultimate flex.
Flex prestige. I don't know how you call it.
If anyone wants to sell me 776 on a UK license plate or a Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or UAE license plate, let me know and I'll take all offers.
No, hey, let us know and I'll pass it forward to Alex.
That's crazy though. I mean, but at this point, at
50
that point,
million.
Yeah, but he's got so much money. Presumably, it's not even a thing.
So okay, let me ask you
That's
something.
silly.
What would you do with 50 million if you started from scratch and somebody gave you 50 million?
50
today?
million right now. Do I have my network? Do I have my brain?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm me as exactly as I am today.
But you have zero.
I own nothing now.
You own nothing. And you have actually forget about the 15 million.
Okay.
It's you have your network.
Yeah.
You have $0 in your pocket.
Okay.
You have 5 minutes to tell me how to make money.
Yeah.
Or
okay, but I still have my experience and skills. Okay. I would start a company for sure.
How? How do you start a company?
Well, I can write code and I can
Okay.
build a version 1 of a website.
Okay.
I could still get enough traction. If you're gonna let me have my network still, then I could find people to build. See, the problem, the only problem with your exercise is I still have the relationships to be able to fundraise the dollars for the business. Now, okay, if I didn't, if I was a kid coming out of school, I'm really making it hard on me now. Look, this is gonna feel like a cop-out answer, but I would ideally find the thing that I really loved doing that was also valuable to other people. Because I think the real unlock that I've seen, at least in business and entrepreneurship, is if you can build a business that you genuinely love building because you love the craft. It could be woodworking. It could be, building software. It could be any of those things. If you can do that, you then unlock the hardest part, which is having the energy to keep improving. And that's the grind. That's the fact that if you actually love what you're doing, the work, when people told me as a kid, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. That was a common cliche I heard all the time. I was working jobs at FedEx as a box mover in a warehouse in high school, or I worked at a Pizza Hut as a dishwasher and a cook and a waiter. I worked plenty of jobs where as soon as it was 6 o'clock or as soon as my shift was over, I was like, I'm out because I don't like this job, right? So I'd hear these stories and I'd be like, that's bullshit, come on. But I swear, the greatest privilege I've had has been being able to work on things I've genuinely loved since I left college. And doing that, the biggest problem I have is actually wanting to work too much. And if you ask my wife and my daughter, that is the thing that I have to wrestle with, is figuring out I could work all the time because it gives me so much joy and I'm pretty good at it and I get compensated well for it. And so it's the dream. And so for aspiring entrepreneurs or just anyone who's at that point in their life where they're young, they're hungry, if you can find that secret magic spot where you're doing something you genuinely love and people want to pay you money for it, it is it's a path to really great stuff. And I like I said, I feel grateful for it to this day. And also, okay, the one thing I want to double check. All right, so we were talking about Athens. So my first trip here, I took that ancient Greek history class freshman year of college at UVA, and I loved the class. That's where I learned the story about the Olympics. And that summer, so 2001, I graduated. So summer of 2002, I was backpacking through Europe, and I spent a month in Greece. I started out in Corfu, and I ended in Athens. And I was backpacking, staying in youth hostels, all this stuff. And there's just some... Okay, can you remember what were you doing in the summer of 2002?
I don't remember. I don't remember what he wanted to tell you.
But roughly...
Salmon, 2002.
I just want to imagine...
First of all, 2002, I was 11 years old. 2002? No, I was 10.
God, I'm so old.
I'm 19.
Okay, but
you're
you're living in Athens.
Yes, I was.
Okay, because I was watching y'all's movie, and I was like, damn, I was like, shit. Like, it would be so wild to me to think that we were in the same city.
We was in the same city. I was like Athens.
Yeah,
Of course.
okay.
That was in the same city.
Oh, man.
Sure. By the way, going back to the story you said about the cook and Edson Olivia,
Yeah.
it's good that you learned it from a book and stuff. Because if you asked anybody here,
What would they tell you?
they'd be like, oh, brother, what you're saying is a lie.
What?
I know personally.
Oh.
So this is how
I
Greek
love that
work.
about the Greeks.
This is how Greek work because we have people everywhere. So, but it's good that you say this. But the crazy part, I want to think like 2002.
Yeah. Summer
I was
2002.
here.
Yeah.
I was here. Now,
And you were balling at that point?
no, 10 years old. No, I was probably working. I probably was
So just hustling.
just hustling somewhere
Yeah.
in the village or in like a fair. You know,
Yes.
we call it panigiri, but in a fair somewhere. Probably
Yeah.
my mom or somebody.
Man.
Was
Oh,
hustling.
it's amazing. If y'all haven't seen the movie, Raj, you gotta go see it. Go see it. Great family film. Watch it with the whole family.
Thank you.
But
Which
it-
is, I love. Can only imagine. You know, I was like King Richard, right?
Oh,
the
it's
movie.
a good, very good movie. Yes.
And I can only imagine like having somebody like next to you. You know, you're married and
Mhm.
having somebody like that. You know, and you don't see that, but like, you know, love is love and everything. But to have somebody next to you that you just like admire as well, like, man, I want to be like this person. Is big. You know, vice versa.
It is.
It's the best.
It definitely keeps me humble. And my wife would tell you it doesn't do a good enough job keeping me humble. But I think it's undoubtedly a blessing. And look, that's ultimately why I knew she was the one, was because I was like, I'm never gonna outgrow this person. And that was something that I had found maybe in previous relationships. But it's wild to see, and it's funny. It's funny too. Trust me. There was a point in my life. Okay, so totally random kid growing up, nobody. Then like starting Reddit, people started occasionally to be like, "Hey, Reddit dude," like very random. It was kind of like Fight Club.
Oh,
like
the Reddit guy.
It'd be very subtle. It'd be like once, literally, I was at a restaurant in New York. I'll never forget this lunch. And the server comes over and she's like, "Oh, your money's no good here." And it was like, fuck, it was like the Fight Club scene. And she's like, "No, your money's no good here." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Oh no, so-and-so over there, he told me you're, the Reddit guy." And the guy kind of comes over and he's like, "Hey man, don't worry. This, these tacos are on me." And I was like, "Really? That's okay. Thanks." This was like, Reddit was only 5-6 years old at this point. And then I get a little bit more noteworthy. Reddit does better. I'm doing more investing stuff, whatever, press. And some more people like, "Hey, Reddit guy, okay." And then obviously at some point I start talking to my wife. Then obviously we get engaged, we get married. And then more and more people are like, "Oh, hey, like say hi to Serena for me. Serena's amazing. Let me tell you how amazing Serena is." And it's so funny because there's also a very special type of Serena fan who they're always very sweet to me. They're awesome. And they're like, "Hey, say hi to Serena. We love her so much." And there's always some story about some amazing moment in her career or life that they still talk about, like they know her, right? Because it's such a big role. And then I know the subtext is always, "And don't fuck it up." Always. And I appreciate this. And so it's, look, I understand it is I think like any husband, it's a responsibility, obviously. But also I realize, I don't fully realize, but I understand as best as I can, right? As a white dude, as best as I can, what she represents to so many people all over the world.
You can't imagine.
I can. And what's really endearing though and wonderful is, now I get the ultimate privilege is I get to see her as a wife, a partner, and as a mom. And I mean, some of y'all see it with social and different things here and there, but like that truly is, I can see firsthand something she values and treasures and loves so much and is so great at. And I see it in Olympia. And, that is a reflection of her as much as it is of me.
That's what you're saying.
And it's awesome. So I'll never fully understand what she means to all those folks and all those people, but I knew I met the one, and it's been a privilege to, like I said, she keeps me humble. It's hard. It's hard to keep me humble, but she does. Yes. And it's great too, because one conversation I've never had to have in this relationship has been defending or justifying why I need to do something for my career. And I still, look, believe me, I I still want to be a better partner. I want to be a better dad.
You have to. This is
and be the best at what I do. And she understands that better than anybody. That there's trade-offs, there's sacrifices, and it's been such a big unlock for me because now I'm not burning energy having those conversations because like she knows better than anybody.
You have to. This is one of the things as well. Not just us, but in general, people around you, your partners, and anybody is the fuel and the energy they give you to be able to every day. And at the same time, and the less that they want. Can you imagine if somebody, anytime you went on a business trip or you're doing this, all these things, like, oh, why? Where are you going? Like it becomes so hard for you, which is it's understandable. Like you want to be best at everything, but you should strive to always be a better version of yourself.
Every day.
If when people are telling you like, oh my God, you're a great dad. Oh my God, you're such a great entrepreneur. You're such a great husband. Like you should strive to be even better.
Every day. Every day. And I can assure for those of y'all who follow these dudes, it's real, it's genuine. It's not just. I know some of these people put this out on social, but it's real.
But we living in an era. Thank you so much for saying this.
It's real, man. People do it for the gram.
We live in an era that anybody can say anything.
Yes.
Anybody. Like I could literally be walking on the street and this guy can say, "Oh my God, look, Thanasis did this," and now it's gonna take and it's gonna take for me 2 months, 3 months till people say, "Oh no, he actually didn't," or he did this. Which you just have to be okay with yourself and okay with who you are and be authentic. And again, don't let that drive you the other way. Like I can't let some bad news, somebody saying like, "Oh, look what they did," or this, drive me away from being me, from being nice, from being closed, and all of a sudden, don't say hi. Like, look how this happened, and now I can't even shake people's hands, or I want to stay home, or be. You just have to. It's very hard. That's the hardest part, I think.
Yeah, and let me also give a shout out to because I've gotten the chance to meet your mom. I didn't get to meet your father, but my mom passed 2 years after I sold Reddit the first time. And when I think of the foundation that she gave me in terms of the confidence, in terms of the support, in terms of the love, sacrifices, all that, and my dad too. Don't get me wrong, love you, Dad. You're awesome, but I think about the role that her passing played in my life because she got brain cancer. She was diagnosed while 3 months into starting Reddit. And I'll never forget because I'm my first time CEO. I'm 21, 22. I feel like I'm untouchable. I'm invincible, starting a company. Okay. And I get that call and I'm like, fuck. And I will never forget. So I was up in Boston starting the company. She was down in Baltimore. And I flew down immediately. And I met her at the hospital. Her first words to me after being diagnosed with terminal brain cancer, right, were "I'm sorry," because she knew how much it was going to mean to me and did not want to be any kind of a burden on the company I was building and the career. And that is the human she was, right? And so I know that energy, right, where it's just when you have that foundation, and she never let me feel any kind of way other than always supported throughout all of that I knew. I tell you, and I wrote it down back then, I knew after that hospital visit, I could not fail. So at that point now, I was a 22-year-old who was building a company that was 3 months old. No one had ever heard of it. What the hell was Reddit? But I knew I could not fail. And so whenever shit got hard, I just realized, you know what? Mom's handling this. It's way harder. Whatever I got today, whatever bullshit I got to deal with, it's fine. It's going to be okay. And that perspective was a superpower. And when she did, when I got to call her and tell her we sold the company the first time and she was so happy, it meant everything. That was the best phone call of my life. And I obviously wish she could have seen me get married and Olympia and all this other stuff. But to have that chance, man, was everything. And I think so much about the gifts that we get from our parents, if we're so lucky to have that. And it's especially to have it from both parents, it is such a superpower. And I'm so grateful for it. And
it is.
When y'all called me up about CAF, the amazing foundation y'all started in honor of Charles, your dad, I just realized I have to be a part of this. I was emceeing the event in New York, but I was like, I have to be a part of this because this, I see his legacy in y'all's work. I see that when you see that kind of energy and when you see that, you need to be around it. You need to support it because I think only more good comes from it. At the end of the day, if even one person hears that story and works a little bit better, a little harder to be a slightly better dad or a slightly better mom, like it's worth it. If you can help touch the lives of some kids who don't have that
100%.
opportunity, it's worth it.
It's worth it. Oh man, it's crazy. And you say already that you've done like, which we didn't say because we're not gonna sit here and like do a resume check, but from
y'all can Google me if you're wondering.
Coinbase, Instacart, this, that, like it's. I don't know. Can you make one for me? Can you make one?
This is what we're doing with LAGC, man. We're building this company together. Absolutely.
Okay, so now I have just went so it's a original place, but now and this is towards the end of the podcast because I'm not gonna keep here all day.
Okay.
But fans need to hear this, so I'm gonna give you a couple of questions. I have them here. All right. Can you tell me what you think? Mm-hmm. So some of them is like a question. The other one is like this or that. Gotta pick. So let's go first.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Have you ever believed in the idea of like perfection?
Wow. No, not human perfection. Okay. I feel like the Greeks had a thing about this, where even back in the day, nothing was allowed to be totally perfect because that was God. Like you couldn't.
Yeah, you can't. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I feel like I don't believe in perfection, in mortal perfection, and it's a problem because my wife is a perfectionist, my daughter is a perfectionist. And so I'm the one who brings that, like, it's like, keep striving, but it's okay that you'll never achieve it. But just like, they get so hard on themselves. I mean, I don't need to tell you all that, but so yeah, I don't believe in mortal perfection.
Let me put another one. Mm-hmm. What's the most like useless talent that you have, but you don't use? Like, I
was gonna say I do pretty good impressions. Hold on,
give me an impression.
Here, hold on, wait, I need to drink some water. Hold on.
So you have, but you do one or you do like multiple?
I do a few, but I want.
Okay, so give me a top three.
No, I can't do that many. Hold
on. Okay, give me a best one. Give me a best one. Go.
All right. Well, Thanasis, here. I'm going to be speaking at one of your events later today. I heard potentially Michelle and I might come down. Is that good? No? It takes me a second to get into it. It's like classic Obama? Yeah. Barack Obama. Okay. I need the water to get into it. But is he doing the calf thing?
Yes. We don't know yet. But he was here. He's in Greece.
Yeah.
I think, is he?
Yeah, I heard the rumors he's in Greece. Yeah. Because that was, yeah.
No. Today.
Have him come back. Come on, Barry. All right.
Okay, so which one?
Can you do the impressions?
Huh? Can you do the robot again?
The robot. I mean, that's not even
but can you do just say
this is robot voice? I mean, that's not a talent. I can do some better ones. Hold on. You clearly didn't like my Obama. I did. I can. Hold on.
Okay, let me move on. Right, because maybe you're having stage fright. What is this called? Stage fright?
Yeah, stage fright. No, but I really.
Hold on. I got you.
All right.
Hold on. So, no, this is the this or that. So
okay, we'll do this or that.
Okay, go. Hero or a mentor?
Oh, neither?
Neither.
I mean, okay, well, this is loaded. I never really
be a hero. You'd rather be a mentor.
Oh, for me?
For you, yes.
Or would I? Oh, okay. So I have a whole thing on mentors. Okay. So I generally tell people not to have heroes. Sorry, y'all, if Thanasis is your hero. I tell people not to have heroes because, I mean, okay, that's not true. If you want to have a hero, have it be someone you actually know. Okay. Don't have heroes who you don't know, because the reality is you put someone on a pedestal that's just so unrealistic. Every mortal is flawed, and I actually think it's better to have heroes who you know. Like if your hero is your mom, your hero is your dad. Awesome, that's great, because you've seen them at their best. You've seen them at probably their worst. Like you know that they're human, yes. So you're not idolizing something that is impossible. You're idolizing something that is special. So for me though, I don't think I should be anyone's hero if I take my own advice. Maybe my daughter's, but that's it. So I guess mentor. But I also tell people don't. So I say also don't come to me as a mentor.
Well, I remember you did have that because you were saying everybody has the different beginnings, and now like what applies for you now might not apply for.
That's it. Yeah. And also, if even the time difference, like a high schooler today who wants to go play in the league, like coming to you would seem like, oh my God, Thanasis could be an amazing mentor, and I think you could, but the better person would be someone who's just a couple years ahead from where they are today. because your advice thinking back to when you were in high school is just different. And
Totally different, yeah.
And in technology, stuff moves so fast.
Yes.
Like to get my advice from being a founder in 2005 as a CEO starting Reddit, like it's so very little of it is relevant to being a CEO starting out today. So I would say don't reach so far to seek out mentors when there's actually someone who's probably just a year or two ahead of you. Rather, if you have peers or folks who are just as hungry as you, who are roughly at the same space, and you can keep each other hungry and learn from each other and motivate one another, like I think that's actually more valuable than seeking out like, oh my God, I could have T as a mentor.
Let me hit you with dying alone or watch a movie alone.
Dying alone or watching a movie alone?
Dying, like eating.
Oh, eating. Oh man, I was like, well, because I would definitely pick watching a movie alone compared to dying alone. Ooh. I like eating alone. I like it a lot. I think it's because I was an only child growing up, and I spent all that time when I was backpacking throughout Europe. I ate alone all the time. It was fine. I like it. I love being with other people, but I also love being by myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So dining alone.
I'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I can't watch, it doesn't feel productive enough. These days, my cheat, if I'm watching alone, is I'm just doing like cardio, because cardio is so stupid and boring that it's like, oh, if I got to be on the elliptical, if I got to be on the treadmill, I'll just put on some Netflix show or something. It's not really watching alone though. Just exercising with a distraction.
So I'm gonna hit you with a little bit of more.
I'll try to be faster.
No, you're good. You're good. So Instagram or Twitter?
Twitter.
Why?
Because I consume. Okay, Instagram is candy, and Twitter. I mean, it's a little candy too, but it's a little bit more substance. Like I feel like I'm doing work when I'm on Twitter. If I'm on Instagram, I'm not doing any work. And so I need to anchor myself in being serious, right? You got to put the reps in. So that's a little bit more time on Twitter.
Are you a morning person or like a night person?
Dude, I was a night person. I thought I was a night person until I went to one of your parties. And then I realized last weekend, man, it was like 3:30. I was like, and I am gassed. And
first of all, you know, like I've never had a birthday party in my life.
I know. I thought it was so sweet that
it's
you
the
did
first
this,
time
and it's not even technically your birthday.
It's not even my birthday. It's in summer, but I did that. Like that's the only time I thought I could get everybody together.
Yeah.
But here in Greece, brother.
Yeah, y'all go late.
We go once a year. We never go out in general, but once a year.
Yeah.
You're gonna live it up.
Oh, so you save it up for that.
Yes, what else could you know? You have to save up one time.
Now I know. So if you invite me again next year, then I'm going the distance.
No, it's a thing now.
Yeah. All right, I'm in.
Now I'm gonna do it like a. It's so crazy that people were asking like, please, when are you gonna have another one?
Yes. Okay. It's a great time, man. I never smashed a plate in my life. And I mean, we were wrecking plates. It was.
But that's how we do it in Greece.
Yeah, I know. The volume, the sheer. I mean, I'm talking thousands of these clay. It was a lot of fun. It's a good time.
Okay, so.
But yeah, normally morning person, by the way.
Okay, morning person.
I guess because I'm not a late night person, obviously.
Yeah. Mac or PC?
Mac. Come on. PC's only for gaming now. That's the only. I grew up only on PC, but Mac is just better.
It's better.
Yeah,
okay.
But.
Give me one last one before you. Oh, text or call?
If it's my wife or daughter, call. Everybody else text. Yeah, you can't. You gotta let go. Especially, you go on the road for a little bit. You gotta get that FaceTime in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much. But now, like I always leave like the audience with like a little bit of like, is there any quote that you see that drives you like every day, or something that you think about every day? You like, this is what you live by.
Yeah. The first one that comes to mind is, it's a little nerdy, but you remember video games when we were growing up? You used to have, like, if you go to the arcade, you used to have a limited number of lives, or even old school Nintendo. Like you had like three lives.
3 lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe you could get a 1-up in the game, but once you were out of lives, or the game's over. Kids today, it's so much easier. They can auto-save, auto-load, all that. But this idea that I noticed whenever I was at lives remaining 0, I played the best because I knew there ain't no more lives left. And I was just a weird hipster, slightly goth kid, I guess. And so I put this on my wall when I was growing up because I wanted to remember this, as cheesy as it was. that yeah, I mean, I'm playing. We are all playing with 0 lives remaining, and to try to just ground myself in the fact that like I knew I played that video game way better when I didn't have 2 or 3 or 4 lives in the bank. It was that last one where I always was like, I'm leaning over, I'm like really locked in, and I try that way to, live. Not always. I'm not batting 1,000, just to be clear. But and then obviously becoming a father made it so much more acute, man. I just realized like the stakes are so much higher now with the little one running around, another one on the way. It's like I gotta do my best, or at least try.
Right. Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you so much. I mean,
Pleasure.
in Greece, you got to do all these things. Just having a little bit of time,
dude. My
this,
pleasure. My team. I took the 776 team up to the top of the Acropolis, and we're coming down the mountain. And I was like, yo, I gotta go. Got to do this podcast with Thanasis. It's been great, and I'm just
thank you so much.
Always good to see you, man.
And hopefully we do another one. We host a show together. We'll see,
dude. Tell me when and where, man. Now you said you're not doing it for a couple months.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
we'll bring it back in the fall.
Yeah, no,
or winter.
I'm
yeah.
just, man. It's a crazy time for me,
I
but
you're busy.
It went well. I mean, it's been crazy. I started this from like a thing that I want to learn. I want to learn about the culture, and all of a sudden, this is just like. Blew up now, and now it's like a thing every week. And,
it's great,
but I love it. I love it, and I enjoy it. And I see like I have such amazing people on the pod, and I learn from, which is great. It's great. So, and again, please, guys, go and don't go and spam, but go and support Alexis Ohanian on all the socials.
You can spam.
Look at it.
Come at me.
LAGC, everybody, please follow the team. We're here. We're going to do this. We expect you guys to play golf. Not to play golf. We expect you guys to come cheer and go crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's a basketball game.
That's right. We're going to lose it. There's going to be some great footage. I can already see it now in the owner's box.
Yes.
This guy.
Yeah. And thanks so much. Please go support him on all socials. I know a lot of guys have asked me about investing and entrepreneurship and technology and AI questions that I was thinking about it. This guy is one of the best experts, and he's one of those people who are like really, really. And you have a masterclass as well.
I do have a masterclass, on entrepreneurship, which you can watch if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah, we should follow. It's amazing. Then you guys, if you want to follow Alexis Ohanian on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, everybody, just follow him. Don't spam, don't go crazy, but follow him and
tell me Thanasis sent you, and I know it'll be cool.
Yeah. And show support. If you want to follow the podcast, at the moment it's at Thanasis Antetokounmpo. I had the Carbliss TV. And if you want to listen to it, if you're a listener, Spotify, I don't know, Spotify and every other platform.
Wherever you listen to your podcast.
Wherever you're listening from. And if you want to get some merch as well.
LAGC.
LAGC on the pod. We're going to have a link under the pod as well if you guys want to go get some merch before they go crazy. And at the Carbliss, you guys already know. Hey, thank you guys. And again, ciao.